block?
Oh, beside you.
I've only got 2, doll. This is module 2, kneeling postures. I've only got, yes, use a
Sorry.
woolen or
I
a
know where
woolen.
work needs to be done.
How about this, sweetheart? This is a better blanket fold. A sturdy woolen blanket is better than the big fluffy. So 2 of those is better. That's why I like the old woolen
Nice.
blankets. These are from India. They're gorgeous. A little bit more.
Oh, yeah.
I'll give you more bum lift. Do you need any bum lift, Jen?
That's awesome.
Probably. I don't know.
I want your
Very
knees.
tight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I want your knees to be comfortable, girls.
Oh, my knees are fine. It's just,
Ankles?
oh, it's my foot.
Okay, let me demonstrate that heel. I'll demonstrate that heel properly. Or will I?
So you have your feet out to the side, or do you have
I
your
won't
feet under?
demonstrate it because she's done it.
Oh, okay. I
See,
was doing
it's
it right.
sickled.
I
If
was
the
doing it
foot is
It's kind of
sickled.
like you're sitting in the arches of your feet.
Yeah, so
Oh,
you start with the
okay.
toes not necessarily touching but moving toward each other.
Okay.
And what that does is it stretches the gallbladder meridian.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling.
And that's difficult. You're used to it. You like that?
Yes.
This
The
is called the
gallbladder is
heel.
the mother of the liver.
Yeah.
Oh, tricky stuff. Tricky stuff.
Acupuncture.
Is it? Gallbladder?
It's
Gallbladder is the
mother
mother of the liver.
liver.
That is
Yes, so
beautiful.
yeah.
Good information. So one of the reasons it's difficult to kneel is quads,
Yep.
hips,
Yep.
gallbladder stretch. There's a dozen reasons why this posture is difficult, but it's really important to get used to it. So we wobble
Good.
the hips, the feet out. Now my toes aren't anywhere near touching, they don't have to be. So long as they're not going that way,
Okay.
which is a common mistake. So not that way, but that way. So we are lengthening like that. We're creating that, and there's a lot of really important
Yeah, I can
meridians
feel
there.
that.
Definitely.
Down my foot.
All the way there.
Definitely feel it.
So if that gets too painful, we'll come out of it. So let's read the posture. Vaj, Ra, Sana.
Vajrasana.
I've given you the basic syllables of the way it's pronounced, not spelt. Vajrasana. Thunderbolt pose, diamond pose. I know it as hero pose. Okay, from here we draw up in the pelvic floor. So this is how. So you know I've noticed I've numbered it. I'll go back and do that too. Not module one. Module one was a bit of a bun fart. Okay, so your hands are resting on your knees. If this is hurting at any point, I want to come out of it in a minute. I'm not staying here for long. It's already
Pelvic floor.
belly is tight, always. Well, not always. Drawing in at the pelvic floor. So we'll go back to how to teach the posture. Kneel on the floor. Bring the toes together, separate the heels. Lower the buttocks onto the inside surface of the feet. Now this is pretty much word for word from these books, more or less.
So you want to bring your bum like kind of in.
Yes,
Avoid
not
arching.
arch. Yes, Jim. Yes, so you want a nice flat spine. So you've dropped your pelvic, you've dropped
Oh,
your
yeah.
tailbone under.
Now I'm feeling that.
You feel that?
Yeah.
Place the palms down on the legs. The back of the head should be straight but not active or tense. So you're just looking straight ahead.
Tones and lengthens ankles, knees and thighs.
Yes, so we're going down to
Slowly.
close your eyes, relax the arms and bodies, focus on the breathing via the nostrils. So if you were in a fairly advanced class, you might do this for 10 or 20 minutes instead of meditating. I hate that kind. Oh, that's not my style. That is not my style. Or sitting up
Because
in,
it's
in
not too
half
relaxing.
lotus. I want to surrender.
Yeah.
I don't want to get any pain.
Yeah.
So that's very Iyengar or it's other stuff. So benefits, tones and lengthens the ankles, knees and thighs, alters blood flow and nerve impulses in the pelvic region. That last sentence, alters blood flow and nerve impulses in the pelvic region, is really important for men. Men that kneel properly have a good chance of not getting any testicular or groin issues in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Because the blood and the nerve flow, particularly in the whole perineum, is connected to the brain. It's really potent posture.
That's a good one for Jim too.
Absolutely. So if they can suck up their perineum, draw in the tummy, and feel those 75,000 Christmas lights in the body. So I'll just go over what that is for you generally. We have the Nadi conversation. Nadis is the part of the electrical body, which we're going to learn about later today. We are electrical, which is why we need to ground on Mother Earth to get to power up. We've got 75,000 little Nadis. Is it really 75,000? Look, is his name really Jesus? How do we know? But that's what the old texts tell us. So I envisage us all as little Christmas trees, or sparkling Christmas trees. I love it. So feeling that is really important. If this is hurting your knees, please come in onto your bum.
Not
Let's-
the knees, just
let's-
my ankles a bit.
Okay, yeah.
That's all.
So let's come on to the next posture because we're going to, when we didn't
How
finish
long?
that.
Oh, that's why I really keen to know.
How long?
How long do you do each posture for? Is it like
Ah.
4 breaths, 3 breaths?
Let's say that you're in a class where you've got people that are like Simone and I and been
Yeah.
doing yoga for over 10, 15 years. Three breaths in for 3 out 3 times and watch them and keep an eye on them. I always watch people like, okay, I trust you. I watch Siobhan because she's always pushing herself and I can see if she's done it 3 of 3, I can see she's uncomfortable but she wants to be a good yogi. And that's, so basically the answer to your question is, it doesn't matter. If you see someone that's uncomfortable or if you're uncomfortable, just say, I'll just hold it for as long as it feels good.
Yeah.
So 30 seconds. The maximum anyone should hold a posture is 3 minutes. Okay? Yes.
So doing yoga when, you're stretching,
Yes.
aren't you meant to just challenge it a little?
Not in this class. Yeah. That's
Really?
Iyengar. That's Iyengar.
So I'm Iyengar.
Yeah.
Like
Mr.
that's-
Iyengar.
All of my yoga is Iyengar.
Me too.
So I'm not meant to be going, oh, that feels good because it's a stretch.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But you're not going. So there's a
I never
there's a
push
line
it,
in the
so-
sand. No, so you're good. You're fine.
You're
You're intelligent.
Okay.
You're intelligent. There's a line in the sand. Yes, take a pen. There's a line in the sand where pain begins.
Yeah.
We walk up to that.
Yeah.
We don't cross it.
Yeah.
So we have to be in the body and we have to go, oh, okay, my hip's at risk. I better keep an eye on my hip. And we feel it, and we pull back.
Yeah.
Even if the rest of the body is okie dokie.
Yeah.
So we have to not cross that line and we somehow have to keep an eye on
Yeah.
those students at risk that will cross that line.
So I'm allowed to challenge it. I'm allowed to say, oh, this feels good.
Oh, the
well
stretch,
done. You can
the
stretch.
stretch
Oh,
should
look at
feel,
you.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
The
okay.
stretch should feel, we get to a point where you've gotten to the edge of the stretch and it's the sweet spot and it feels delicious. That can, or for some-
Deliciously challenged, like,
yeah,
great,
yeah.
great.
An
That's where I am.
enjoyable discomfort.
That's the
Yes,
one.
it's beautiful.
Perfect. It has
And
to be
my
an
body sees.
enjoyable
Yes.
discomfort, like pigeon is. That's an
Yeah,
enjoyable
but not too
discomfort.
painful. We've got to be
No, never
mindful
pain,
of
never
all
pain.
of all of our bits that aren't quite
Mm.
right. Okay,
Take
going,
out the will and you'll be fine.
yeah, take out. There you go in the world.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So continuing reduces
Keep
blood flow.
self-love.
Reduces blood flow to the genitals and massages the nerve fibres. Assists women in labour. Reduces menstrual disorders.
Wow.
Increases the efficiency of the nervous system.
Oh.
That's because the base of the spine ends at the anus, and the spine is the main meridian called the sushumna of the electrical. If there was one big electrical current that went through the whole house, it's the sushumna. If the sushumna is off, the whole house is dark. So the sushumna is the spine. So because it starts at the anus, and everything is fed. So if you feel like shit, kneel. And what did I say here? Note, Vajrasana is used by Zen Buddhists and Muslims for prayer and meditation because kneeling stimulates the upper chakras. Kneeling properly. I can feel all kinds of interesting, so in relation to the foot, I can feel different experiences. I can bring my heels out, but when my knees get tired of that rotation, I bring my heels out rather. I bring my heels in and sit on my sit bones. So my heels are on my sit bones, and then I can stay in the posture for longer. But interestingly, I'm getting a lot of pressure from my heels on my perineum right now, and it feels really amazing. It feels really sustainable. So it's a different variation, an easier variation so that we don't risk over rotating in the knee, in my opinion. What does that feel like for you? Are those heels too bony?
My seat bones are
Too bony.
incredibly bony.
Yeah. If we're too bony, it won't feel great.
And then,
Are you comfy there?
not really.
Yeah, so I would put a pillow between it all.
But I'm okay for my heels to be out.
You're fine with
And
that.
I'm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's the typical yogi body.
And
All long and
your
soft.
knees, do your knees have to be together? Or you're trying to keep
Ideally.
your knees
Well, either or.
Yeah.
Basically, we're looking for. So that's a different thing for everybody. If you've got really wide hips, you don't want to have your knees apart. So middle ground.
Okay.
For Simone, because she's got narrow hips, knees together is fine. For you, I'd go separate. I'd decide what feels best at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, what feels best at the time. In Iyengar world, there were those laws.
Yeah.
This is actually Satyananda yoga. Satyananda, I don't talk about this much because no one knows who Satyananda is, but Bihar School of Yoga is Satyananda yoga.
Okay.
And this is before Iyengar. It's much older, 200 AD, and it looks like yin yoga. It is in fact the original yin yoga.
Okay.
It's yoga, and in my book, that means yoga therapy. Great, that's what that means. Great. So this is yoga therapy. So fuck the rules. Do it from school. Save your hips, save your knees. Alright, let's go to Marjari Asana. Cat dog.
Cat and cow, is it?
No, it's cat. It's cat,
I don't know
cat.
where
Cat
cow
face.
came
I don't know where dog
Is
came
that
from
right?
either. Or dog down, but for years I've been saying cat dog. It's like, wait a minute, that doesn't look dog.
Yeah.
So it's cat stretch
Yeah.
pose. So this is the old Satyananda version.
And
Okay.
that's
Online-
like what they
online-
say. They say cat in like what do you call it? In like personal training and just that form of exercise.
So that's the correct term, and I
Yeah.
checked online to see what modern people were saying. Cat pose.
cat.
Where did cat, cow, cat, dog come from?
Well, no, but if you look at a cat, well, we're just mimicking what they naturally
That's
do
right.
when
Yeah,
they
so
stretch. Have you ever seen a cow do this?
No.
No.
I don't know where cow came
So I
from.
think that's
I
some
think
of the-
that's the modern. Cow is modern
Cow.
because it was
It might
always
be.
cat.
It might be.
And then
I
they
think
put
what
cow
happens is the deities get involved. The Bhagavad Gita gets involved, the mythological side of yoga, which I have not read. And there's probably cows there.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, what's a bet? Okay.
Ah.
Hands and knees, my darlings. So
It
hands.
does annoy me when they change it.
Oh,
Let's just
it's-
keep it the way it
yes,
was.
that's
It's,
right.
it's the nature of culture.
I like the
It's the
authenticity.
nature of culture, isn't it? It's like the
That's
swastika.
it's like sports science. That's the word. So like sports science when you're studying like to be a personal trainer and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So that's where it gets confusing
Yes, can do.
because it's like scientific
Yeah.
versus spirituality.
Yeah, very, very much.
And it seems like I have issues with that with plants and
Very much that.
animals and conservation stuff.
All right, we have to
Constantly.
keep going. I'm on time. I'm crunching the time. Sorry, Jen, for cutting you off.
Alright.
Okay, cat. How to teach the posture. I'm going to read it out. Kneel with knees slightly apart. Right. Raise buttocks and come onto your hands. So we went from there to there. Very simple. Hands must be directly beneath shoulders and aligned with the knees. Arms should be perpendicular. Have I mentioned that elbow shouldn't be bent? Straight up and down. The arms must not be locked straight. Slightly bent elbows will protect the elbow joint and strengthen the surrounding muscles. Flatten the hands. Try to get the palms on the floor. I want you really to work your hands, girls.
So push it really into your hands.
Have a look at my hands. This is an Iyengar hand, and we want to borrow from Iyengar here. We want to get the root finger at 12 o'clock and everything else as far apart as possible. However, going onto a fist or an elbow is good because that's yoga therapy.
Yeah.
If you've got tight wrists, go onto a nice strong fist or a nice strong elbow. And when we're on our elbows, we want to push the forearm down. We don't want to just lean on the elbow. We want to push it all down. We want to make sure the elbow is directly beneath the shoulder. And you can still do cat stretch pose from here. For example, hunching and arching. It's quite lovely if you've got tired arms. Hunching and arching. So either way, we are aligned. The knees and the hands are in alignment. When you go into your arch, which means you're looking up, and I'm going to do this on my elbows because my wrists are tired. We want to stretch the skin from the chin to the thymus. This is the thymus. We want to stretch the skin. This is very important. And this is actually what this posture is about. So stretching the throat, stretching the skin. If it's tender or tight back here, chill out a little bit. And arching the back as well. And so this is thyroid work. We're toning the thyroid. And then we go into the other direction, tucking the tail under, drawing the tummy up, pelvic floor up, checking to see that the knees and her hands are still aligned, checking to see that the elbows are not locked, palms are as flat as possible for now, and the neck is tucking under. We're tucking under. So we're squeezing the thyroid area now, aren't we? Oh. And you're stretching across the back of the neck. Really, it's a lovely stretch. If it hurts, ease up. And breathing and other way. Chin forward, shoulders back. Now, you've seen girls in class go hunch, arch, hunch, arch. What a waste of bloody time. The meridians aren't being attended to. The back's at risk. The hands are at risk. The thyroid's not being attended to. You get that, don't you? You are getting tired?
No, I was just listening.
Yeah, it's funny. I see new students going bam, bam, bam.
That's because
Which
of
is
the
what your
personal
question
training.
was. 3 breaths.
Slow,
And that's also
slow.
because of the personal training thing. So
It
like,
could possibly be.
So,
and in a
yeah.
Pilates class,
yeah, exactly.
yoga looks like Pilates, and that's what they do.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Okay,
But I
so
think more consciousness comes to the body when you have to breathe and take notice of what your body's doing. And you
well,
make
when I get
adjustments
students that do it for the first time, they've been going to the gym, or they might
Yeah.
come here and do
Yeah.
slow yoga. They go, wow, that feels
Yeah,
good.
because it says like in my, Pilates fitness program, when I've done my back, do it 12 times.
Yeah, right.
That's
Yeah.
why.
So we'll do
So
it 3
people are
times.
like,
We'll do it 3 times.
12 times.
Which for 12
But
times
no,
in my
but you
world
just
could take
hold
3
it.
minutes. And when you're finished, you go back to the return posture as Simone has.
Yep.
So we started kneeling and we come back kneeling and resting. And you do what you want with your hands. Actually, pose of the child is quite lovely. If you can get your hands on your back, what does it feel like if your hands are resting on your back? Which means your head needs to be comfortable. Your knees need to be comfortable. Yes, Jan Lee. So having the arms forward gives you quite a bit more support, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Depending on the day, I have to have my arms forward. It's very rarely that I'll risk going deep into any stretch at my age. And I think that's wise. I think we always need to use our support, being our body. Moving on, so that was that. Now I won't go into the the benefits because I said them all, and it's obvious. Contraindications though, danger. Wrists straining the neck and lower back. Obvious, obvious, obvious. So our body is the clue. Does this hurt my wrists? Well, 50% of the class are going to have sore wrists. Am I tired today for no reason? Oh, 50% of the class, or 30% of the class are going to be tired today for no reason. So we empathise through this God-given channel. This is a gift. Yes, that's what I feel like doing right now. I do a lot of that. This is the clue that you share. We never expect people to be 100% because are we ever? All right. Now, contraindications, easy variation. If the wrists are tired, bit of pain, go into the elbows. Yes, we covered that. Making sure the shoulders are as far away from the ears as possible. So I'll just quickly go back to that. If we're going to do elbow work, which I love, keep the shoulders away from the ears. Teach your students that the space between the earlobe and the shoulders is important. And people don't really understand push your shoulders back. Sometimes they go, the shoulders are all over the place. But if you tell them, move your shoulders away from your ears, they usually get it.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. It's an interesting cue for people to hear. All right, moving on. Vagrasana, tiger pose. I don't do this a lot in class because I worry about my back. But we're going to do it anyway. Okay.
Tiger.
Yeah, tiger pose. It's very simple. Looking at the two variations of the stretch, we obviously start in cat pose. We transfer the weight to one leg, or rather, let's all do it together. We actually don't transfer the weight. We bring the knees together. So we ordinarily do cat pose with knees apart, yes?
Yeah.
Now we want to bring the knees together. So when we lift one leg up, we've got one leg directly beneath the pelvis. So check that and make sure you teach your students that, because if they raise one leg ever and they're going to be all twisted and they're going to be relying on one hand. So I want you to try that.
So like hunched
Just
and
raise
then
one. Yes,
then
yes.
like cat.
So the knees are together and then it's up
And then try and get
in.
your leg as high as you can. Is that
Yes.
also
Well, look, honestly, thigh parallel with the floor is enough.
Right.
Thigh, and it's not that high.
Yeah.
That's perfect, gentlemen. All of you've got it beautifully. The foot can be flexed or pointed. What do you feel like doing?
Point.
I like pointing.
Point.
Yes.
And slowly in, knee close to the face, not on the face, and lift the face up. So again, we're actually more focused on the thymus gland, this stretch. So this is a more advanced version of cat,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you've got a good back, it's great.
I'm going to say with the thymus, I feel like I have to throw my, I have to.
So gently, doesn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah, so pull
I
back a
can't
little
get
bit.
that much of a stretch.
No, it's okay. You might not have the very long neck that I've
Yes.
got, so it's going to be feeling different. So what matters to you is, do you feel the thyroid's here, the thymus there? So we're doing both.
Yeah.
Do you feel the skin stretching?
Not really, but I can do it in a different way
Okay.
at other times.
How does it feel today? Have you got thyroid issues? You don't look like you do. Do you?
I think I do. Yeah, I'm working on
You
it.
haven't got the eye problem, have you? Which
No.
is bulging.
No,
Okay. My homeopath could fix that.
put me in touch.
She's bloody good. So if it feels tight,
So if I have to
don't overdo
do
it.
it, that means I have to pinch my neck a
Don't
little
do
bit. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
just
giving
do
you
it a little bit.
information.
Yeah.
Pull all the way back, maybe 10-15%.
Yeah.
Just a gentle baby stretch.
Yeah.
As though you've just had neck surgery. Treat your spine like gold.
Yeah.
Like a feather. Yeah. But for those, and in time, that might change.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter if it doesn't, because your body is still your body.
Yeah.
But what's important is that you don't overstretch your body. Okay. Let's go through the benefits very quickly. Strengthen shoulder girdle, which is this area here, and it's also shoulder girdles here, your pecs.
Oh, good.
Yeah, so strengthening shoulder girdle, and it's also all the muscles on the top of the back. So really, and part of the strengthening of the shoulder girdle is lifting the head up. So even if you just look straight ahead gently, just look straight ahead, not up, that's enough for you, darling.
Yep.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
And this
And
is good
release the
information for
weight
your thyroid ladies. So I don't have thyroid, so I don't know how to teach thyroid stuff. So you've got the added advantage of having an experience that a lot of women suffer with. You can very much be beneficial to them.
That.
Yeah, you can bring that, you can be focused. God, so many people are on thyroxine, they shouldn't know.
No,
Having their thyroids out, for God's sake. It's like having a leg
That can grow
amputated. It's like having your leg off, isn't it? So this is very good for digestion, very good for spinal fluid, which translates to the sushumna, aka the chakras. Can release sciatica, so you can be very, very careful. It can cause sciatica, but it can release it. Careful with lower back issues. Beneficial for women after childbirth or for women who've had many births. Okay, contraindications of blood circulation, removes weight from hips and thighs, obviously because it's working those body parts out. Inflamed knees, won't like this. Lower back is at risk. Weak, tired hips. If you've got a 70-year-old woman, don't get her to do that. Don't get her to do that. Get her to get this right. This is the baby version, beginner's version. This is very much risky version for someone who hasn't got a fucking clue what they're doing. Oops, bleep that up. Weight bearing on the hip for long. Yes, so weight bearing on the hips for people with tender hips, no experience in exercise. You might get a 20-year-old that's obese and has never exercised. They are at risk, and they're in their full ego, and they're going to want to hurt. They don't want to hurt themselves, but they probably will if we let them. So we have to keep a close eye on a lot of people. It can inflame joint pain in the hips. The posture is not for everyone. Safe alternative. Sitting out, waiting patiently is also yoga.
Yeah.
It is absolutely,
Yeah.
isn't it? Doing nothing, shunyata, doing nothing with no guilt, no shame, no frustration. That's yoga, isn't it? Really. All right. Now we're going to the anti. What did I call it? Reverse. Thank you.
Reverse engineering or something.
Reverse engineering. Reverse traction.
Reverse traction.
So traction being pulling away, reverse traction being bringing together. Like when we put a kidney belt on or a back brace on, that feels like, oh, everything's nice and tight. All right. So my version of reverse traction for the neck is, I'll demonstrate quickly, it's called Prana Masana. It's beautiful. Bowing pose. Oh, bowing pose it. Oh, shit, there's a typo. Bowing pose. Me, myself, and I edited this. There should be no typos. The posture is also known, this posture, can you see to the right, the lady standing up, is also known as Pranamasana. So whenever you're standing there, you're also in Pranamasana. Beautiful. Bowing pose, without the T on the end. Okay, so how I would teach this, okay, hands either side of the mat, head down. Now I'm looking at my elbows. I can see my elbows. If you can't see your elbows, I think they're in the wrong position. I can see a right angle here, can't you? Right, so I want you to start there. I don't care what your feet are doing. I do want your knees to be about a fist width apart, generally speaking. If we're bigger, 2 fist widths apart. But fist widths, it sounds very rude. What we're doing is creating a bridge for our posture, the foundations of the house. If we don't get the foundations right, we'll end up falling over. Imagine doing this with your knees together and it's like, no, we've got to get the foundations right. So fairly broad here, broader than usual. Usually these are under our shoulders. No, I want them as far, even like people with big shoulders. Jim, you and I can even have the luxury of having our hands here. Now notice what I do when I tuck my head under. I feel like I'm diving into a swimming pool. Chin down, forehead first. Who likes diving? Head up. No, divers?
I like to dive.
Chin
I can't
forward.
dive.
Oh, I should teach you. We'll do Wim Hof diving. Okay,
Alright.
yeah. In local creek, Gemma's already doing it.
Yeah.
Wim Hof.
Yeah,
Or
I
diving.
do it all the time.
She's freezing it. Well, it's
Yeah.
kind of people
Freezing
have
all
been
the
doing.
pain out of
People
my
have
body.
been doing it for thousands of years.
You've got an ice bath or something, have you? So
Nah, it's just
Local creek.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so chin under, head down, boom. From here, I'm going to make sure that I feel balanced. I'm going to make sure that my knees are directly beneath my hips. If my hands are too far forward, I can't see my elbows. I need to be able to see both arms, wrinkly old wobbly things. So then I can go into, and I need to make sure that I'm really on the top of my head. And then I can go into the full posture and just chill out here. You do whatever you want. That one. And I'm going to show you the advanced version now. It's not on the sheet because it's not yin yoga. But you'll like it. Please don't do this today. Unless your neck feels great. I'm good. So from here, my hands here, and then you go up onto that. And then you can do all kinds of tricks here. It's not a headstand. We never go. So in Iyengar yoga, it was all about balance, balance, balance. Fuck balance. We don't want to have balance. We have balance. We walk everywhere all day long.
Strength.
Do everything at the wall, please, because I've seen too many necks get ruined in Iyengar yoga. So many necks, including mine. I fixed it. So every time you fall in a headstand, you hurt your neck. How can you not? It's not like an ankle. It's not designed to be stood on. It's not designed to weight bear. So never trust your balance. Get your strength at the wall. Align your posture. Fun. If you don't have to worry about falling. My inversions, which we will do a little bit of later down the track, my inversions are so much more fun now that I've decided to swipe, balance. It's too stressful.
And that's what you've learned in ballet.
It's too
The
stressful.
whole time, like balance.
Yeah. It's so
You're
stressful.
like reversing it.
So eliminate that. And what is balance? All ego.
Mm.
All. I have to balance. I have to balance. Oh my God. Oh, I'm out of balance. I have to balance. And that is the opposite of acceptance. When you're upside down, you go, oh, this feels beautiful. I need to activate that, that, and that. And then you feel the light from the compression on the top chakra. If you're busy balancing, you can't feel any light because your consciousness isn't focusing on blissing out.
Mm-hmm.
But it takes 6 months of, I believe, strengthening the upper body, the lats, the shoulders, everything, so that we can enjoy a headstand. So that's SWAT, that's another day. Okay, so this is part of the headstand story. So let's all do this now. I want you just to go into it, and I'll correct you if you're not in it comfortably or properly. I know you're
Starting at cat
yep,
and then
Yep.
arms out.
yep, for you, arms out. For you, generally, because you don't have a broad shoulder girdle, hands at the edge of the mat, bring your knees in a little bit closer towards me, generally. And yes, Jen, head on the top. Your ponytail might be in the way,
I was
Jen.
just thinking that.
If the ponytail's in the way, we always tell students to get rid of them because it will affect the neck.
Yeah.
It'll screw up the neck. It doesn't matter about what the posture looks like. We're just worried about your lovely neck and all those nerves in it. That's good, generally. You keep your hands on the ground and play with what feels like the foundations of the posture. Could your hands be in a different position, for example? You feel like you're on top?
hurt their head or not?
No, you might have swelling on your underneath your scalp, which is very common.
Really?
Do you wear your hair up or tight through the day?
No.
See,
Usually
oftentimes when we have tight ponytails, that can happen. What I would recommend is putting another layer of wool under your head to soften it.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's great. Bree, can you see your
Do you
elbows?
want to like sort of take your hands away and
Yeah.
like, put all the weight
First
on
of
your
all,
head?
can you see your elbows? Can you see your arms?
No.
No, I want you
Okay.
to position your hands further out and towards the lace curtain more so you can see your arms. Bring your hands towards your knees more. God, woman. Now on the outside. Okay, I want to show you where I want you to put your hands.
Yes. No.
Put one there.
And then
Head down.
Yeah.
And then put the other one there. And put this one here. Yes. Now you can see your elbows. Yeah?
Yep.
So does that feel like you've got a better, is that better foundation for you?
Yeah.
Or not?
Oh yeah, I get it now.
Okay, so
you put
you-
all
now
the
you-
weight onto your head.
All of it.
Okay.
All of
Right.
it. Whereas before it was all going onto your
Yeah,
hands.
I was more like this.
Yes.
Okay.
So the hands have to be, you have to be able to see your elbows.
Right.
If you can't see your elbows, you don't have the right foundation.
And then that's when you go. Up.
Here or here?
Okay.
What part?
I'll show you.
Yeah.
It depends on your anatomy. Go down for me and I'll tell you when your neck is perfectly straight and that'll be the part. Alright, that's pretty good. I want you to tuck your head, I want you to bring your knees further forward a little bit. That's better. I think you might be rolling, so roll a bit further. Come forward. No, other way. Other way. Don't be afraid. Other way. Keep going further forward. Bring your knees further forward. Can you see your elbows? Maybe bring your elbows further out. Here, Donna. Put your hands here. No, give me your hand. You can't see because of your hair. But relax your arm. There.
Oh.
Yes. Okay, that's because you're not on top of your head. I want you to bring your knees further forward. Now, roll forward. You're afraid to roll forward. Yes! Come on to the top. So does that feel different? Yes, they come down if it doesn't feel good. You've got inflammation on top of the skull.
That's interesting.
It's not
I'm working on
unusual.
inflammation,
We have inflammation all over the body.
Yeah.
So what I would do with that is I would massage.
Yeah.
Is it a bit tender to massage?
No, it's alright.
Good, okay. Yeah. So
putting that
that
pressure
one pressure point. Well, that's
Yeah,
interesting.
isn't it?
Have a play with it at home.
Yeah, okay.
You might find that when you're at home and you fiddle with it, making sure that you can see your bent arms. If you can't really control it. If you can see your arms, it's more scary, but it's better.
It's quite comfortable.
It should be bliss.
Yeah, it is.
So just that and that is bliss
Yeah.
when the body's ready.
Yeah.
When the body's ready.
I'll be
So
working
generally
towards
not
that.
enjoying that is good
No.
information for you girls.
This is a
It
real
tells us that inflammation is general. Okay? There's nothing wrong with having inflammation. It just exists. It's part of the healing process. It's part of the detox process. When we decide to heal, we get sick for 10 years. It's true. When we decide to heal, I won't affirm that we get sick for 10
Thank
years,
you.
but we might experience a little bit of healing crisis. I did. I couldn't walk for 5 years. Boom. And I came out of the other end. Okay.
Oh, I can feel the blood supply massively.
Yes, good. Yes. And when you read about the upper chakra conversation, you'll be doing this all day long because you know it will
It's a crown
enhance,
chakra.
will
Yeah.
enhance your intellect.
Yeah, I could feel it.
So be careful though for you, darling. I'd be massaging.
Yeah, do
I'd
that.
be
It's
massaging.
not very good for asthma.
Oh, it's so good for asthma.
Yay.
Anything going forward, by the way, in relation to asthma, when the torso is tilted forward, good for asthma. Anything. Anything. So, for example, this is good for asthma. Sitting up in bed as a child, 5 years of age, sleeping with pillows in my chest. Good for asthma. Who remembers The Elephant Man, the movie?
Yeah.
He couldn't breathe. He sat up. I related to that horrible story. That's a big part of my PTSD, which doesn't. PTS cure, post-traumatic cure, is because I am cured of it. I learned that, well, if I have to sit up and go to sleep, I will. And you know, I start every night like that. I massage my feet and I love my body, and I eventually think, oh, it's gone. Pass out.
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's easier for asthmatics to breathe,
Yes,
is it?
and
That's
it's
interesting.
just anatomical. It's got to be. It's just got to be. Oh, the lungs are in a different position. It's got to be,
What's
isn't it?
the
Fascinating.
alternative
For
for this pose?
don't do it.
Kneeling tall
Not
and
to do it.
stretching.
Kneeling tall. Here we go. If someone can't put their head on the ground,
Okay, quads.
just get them doing this. If someone can't put their head on the ground and they want to do
Oh,
yoga,
okay, that one.
so,
Yeah.
so again, if you tell them to sit out and wait, they won't. so we have to give them something to do that's kind of the same. They can't hurt themselves here. They're not going to hurt their neck and their sore head. Some people get dizzy. A lot of menopausal women cannot do that. A lot of menopausal women.
So you do
have-
that half camel instead.
Basically, yeah, half camel. Instead of going all the way back, we just kneel up straight, push the pelvis forward, and lift up, and enjoy that.
Can you go backwards if you want?
If you want, but that's a whole other posture, and you have to teach it.
Yeah,
You'll
okay.
be teaching 2 postures at
Yeah.
once. If you've been in my general class, you just see what happens when I teach 3 postures at once. It's freaking chaos. Alright, so reading through that, contraindications, weak necks, high blood pressure, people with vertigo. A lot of menopausal women who have thyroid issues have vertigo. And how do they know they have vertigo? I have a male student with vertigo. They can't sleep lying down. As soon as they lay down, they pass
Dizzy.
out or have a panic attack. So that's, I've got a male. I've got so many sick men who's got chronic vertigo, can't lie down. But, so, you know, I'm getting him exercise, I'm getting his blood flowing and going, I'm getting him flowing. Meditation is letting him meditate. We never get him to lie down. It's a no-no. It's very interesting. What does it mean? I'm yet to discover. I think the answer
Oh,
will
now
be
I
the
have
deep dive of the
vertigo.
chakras.
You had to do the funniest
Could be
exercises.
There's an epidemic of vertigo.
Is
I
that
suppose
in
from phase
general?
or
There's
shit.
an epidemic, entire
Completed phase
families,
and crap. I swear
entire
to God.
families are getting vertigo.
And
I think
phones,
it's
yeah.
what, it's what they're saying
There's an epidemic
It's
of
coming from the
sore
sky.
necks,
Yeah.
cross-on
The
position.
entire
Is
family.
it coming from the waves from the
Yeah.
EMF?
I reckon.
Entire
Wi-Fi?
families are getting vertigo. The parents, the children, and it goes through families.
Is this-
and
It's the location of where they're living.
yeah, all of that.
Okay.
Like every single second person has vertigo.
I think we need to get plugs for our power, a house. The kind of plugs that disseminate dirty power, because an unused plug leaks dirty power. Yeah, look,
Really?
I've got this room plugged.
What
Yeah.
plug do you mean?
I'll
Like a
show
butt
you.
plug.
Right now.
It's like a.
But I can only.
So
Got
the
nothing.
other thing is the
I can think
vaccination
of
as
the
well.
plastic.
Yeah,
Because
that's a
there's been
possibility
a
too.
pandemic of vertigo since COVID.
There you go.
The fact that it's going through entire families is unheard of.
But I have heard they've turned the 5G up as well.
Take a photograph of this, Jan Lee.
Okay.
This is about $100 worth though, but it'll clean any room.
Toilet.
Oh, here I am.
This is
Oh,
called
I've never heard of
Geolessence, and it's a plug. Toilet break.
Go to the toilet.
And that's a good room cleaner.
So you only need to put it in one PowerPoint or in every
plug on.
PowerPoint?
No, one room. That'll do a big room. And they're online.
Yeah. Never
They're
heard of
very
them.
common.
Wow.
What are they actually made of? That's
That's
what
all
I
gone.
want to know.
That's all gone. That's all gone. The science behind it is interesting and difficult to understand unless you've read a lot. I believe in it after reading a lot. I do. And I've got an ENF meter, and I can put the meter on and test things like that. It's pretty bloody good.
Wow.
All right, moving on. When we're ready, we're going to move through this quickly, and that's great. That's great. We'll be through this quickly, then we'll break for lunch. That was quick.
Oh, I was talking about half a camel.
Yeah, you were. So the kneeling postures are limited.
Yeah.
Pose. Half a camel.
I was going. There's a lot of preparations to. There's a lot of kneeling postures and salute to the sun, but I'm going to leave that to other work. We're
Yeah,
going to do
I
more
find
on
it hard because of the hips
Yeah, no. Well, this is just
to
kneeling.
do
Yeah,
the
just kneeling.
salute and stuff.
Oh, yeah, look, I think the salute to the sun became popular when 20-year-olds around the world were learning Iyengar yoga.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's exactly what I was just going to
It was popular
say.
200 years ago, but when you look at this version of the salute, it's pretty lackadaisical, although it's still very tricky. I still can't do it.
Every
I still can't do
yoga
this version.
class
Yeah.
I have gone to, other than yours with
Yeah.
younger people,
Yeah. Make you do it.
they all do
It's
it.
like
But
McDonald's
they
yoga.
don't ever say like, you know, like the jump.
Yeah.
Things like that. Like if you can't jump, they never say
They
can't
don't
do
give
that.
you an option.
No,
It's dangerous.
no, and they're like just be all balancey, you know, and it's all that balancey sort of
I
stuff.
can't stand it.
And then you got everybody who has never done it before, and they're all like,
It's pretty sad.
well,
It's like
and then you
someone
end up
going
hurting
to that-
yourself.
It's like poor old my
I've
niece
heard
going
myself
to
doing it.
7-hour-long meditation day, and what did they do? 7 hours. They didn't get a break. They were given a sandwich at lunch
Yeah.
and a glass of water all day. There was 100 of them in the room, and I did some research about them, and it's the time of the false prophet.
Yeah.
Literally, according to the Mayan calendar, we've had this big shift. The divine feminine is rising, Mother Earth is ascending, and there's Earth in Ascension there too, which is a nice one. It's an old book. And change. Changes in the wind. So, yes, we have to allow for all these different conversations in. Alright, we have to move on quickly. I'm getting distracted, aren't I? Ardha Ushtrasana. Look at this language. Ardha Ush. Strasana. Is it an ush or is it a s? Well, it's pronounced sh. So let's go with that. I've always said it Ardha Ustrasana for years without the sh. Have you? Yeah. So I did double check the spelling and it's across the board ush. Okay, half camel pose. On your knees, ladies. Kneeling up tall, tummy in tight, knees a fist width apart or 2 fist widths apart. What feels better for your pelvis? If your knees are getting tired, take it easy. Squeezing the buttocks together, lifting up at the tummy. So activating all of the pelvic area. Tummy, pelvic floor, buttocks. Lifting up nice and tall, and I'm going to give you the cheats version. We're going to put the right foot on the tippy toes. And we're going to gently reach for the right heel and lift up the left arm. Now you can do that in the opposite order, it doesn't really matter. Because we're doing the easy version, baby's version, it doesn't matter what order you do it in. So squeezing the buttocks, you can lean, if you've got a long arm, you can lean on that foot. If you don't need to go onto tippy toes, Simone, you can put the foot flat on the arch and you can put your hand flat on the foot, which is what we want eventually.
Oh wow.
But you don't have to do that, and certainly not if your pelvis is tilted. So notice how your pelvis is tilted. You're not ready. Also too, yes, no, we're not ready because we want to have the hips. We want to pretend there's a wall here. Can you do the other side? So Simone's got a wall in front of her hips. I'm going to give you my thigh, which is your wall, and she's not going to swivel. So down you go. Her pelvis hasn't swiveled because she's got a bendy back and long quads. But you girls, as soon as you start to swivel, thank you, beautiful. As soon as you start to swivel, or as soon as your knees do, torso does this. Oh, I'm going to make it easier by going back. No, this is always going forward.
Great.
Always going forward.
So you could do this against a wall, actually.
Well, in fact, if I had a wall to do it, I would be. This is how I'm going to create 2 walls. This is how I teach the posture. In the Iyengar days, neither of you girls were in this room. I had that wall and that wall.
Walls
So,
are amazing.
I'm going to have to get rid of my fantasy yoga room and create walls. We need walls.
I lost walls.
Yeah.
I
Well,
had
when we
beautiful
decorate,
walls.
we lose our walls. Pain in the arse. So I'm going to have to create boring old walls for this yoga room, which is fine. The couch will go back there.
It's a good wall, that couch.
Yeah, that's a good wall.
The other way.
Yeah.
You're always changing this room.
And that will go probably in the living room. Okay, so questions about this posture.
Pinching in the lower back,
Okay, which means you're not ready to go back.
even with the foot up.
I would keep the foot up.
Head up.
I would,
looking up.
if I were you, let's have a, looking at the hand. Head up, looking at the hand. So not terribly stretched. For you, Jan Lee, if there's a little bit of pinching, maybe keep this hand on the buttock. Lean on the buttock. Is that less of a stretch?
Yeah.
So teach your students to rely on palms on the bum for both versions of this posture, the full posture. In fact, when I was talking about teaching at the wall, I would always keep hands on bums. But then I realised as I got older,
Without letting
that doesn't
anything
always
drop.
work. That doesn't always work. Telling people to put their hands in their bums. They put their hands in their bums and don't wipe here. Don't lean on the bum. So just putting a hand on your bum doesn't work. You've got to lean. You've got to get that lean on your bum. So be careful when you tell people to put your hands in your bum, making sure that they actually understand the cue, the clue, which is support. Maybe hands on hips is a better clue.
Hands on kidneys.
Yeah, right up here because the hip bones are up here. Does that feel better, Jan Lee?
Well, to engage my stomach so I don't
Very much
fall.
engaging, yes.
So I would be saying engage from there.
Yes, so
up,
drawing up
and
and
making sure it
lifting.
feels straight and
Yes,
not
yes,
sad.
never
Mm.
collapsing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's how I would instruct
And that's
it.
how you wouldn't pinch your back.
Yeah.
Excellent. So lifting out of it. Yes, bravo. All right. Contraindications, obviously, bad backs. Knees. People with inflamed knees might not like it. How are your knees going, Jan Lee?
Yep. Alright.
Those suffering with large thyroid must take care. So all back bends do that.
Yeah.
We can get all of our students, and you've seen me do this in class, where I don't want to risk doing too much with that. So I generally tell people to look straight ahead. That means the thyroid is protected.
So that's not good for the thyroid to open it up and give
If
it.
it feels tight, no.
Right.
We want to take nascent iodine, which is natural iodine, once a week or once a fortnight, just a drop in water.
I'm looking for it.
Okay, get online.
At a
Anyway,
yeah.
get on or
I've got it on order. I should
Yes,
say.
good, good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
And I take a drop or two every month.
Yep.
And my blood's fabulous. It's just pure iodine. natural iodine, opposed to synthetic
Yes.
iodine, which we don't use properly. We might use bits of it, but I'm sure we don't use it properly. Supta Vajrasana. Kneeling on floor, toes together. Now, I reckon you should skip this one, Jan-Lee.
I already know that.
And what I want to do, Jan-Lee, is I want you to throw me that brick, and I'm going to teach you how I would teach this to someone like me who's capable but a bit old, and my knees are a bit sore. I don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So instead of going all the way back, which is what Simone's going to do in a minute for us, I'll teach you the baby version in a minute. And by the way, there's no imagery of the baby version online, which is why I haven't put it there. So what I will do is actually going to, so providing my knees are okay, I don't even need that. I'm actually going to just come onto my elbows, okay? Now, most people will hate this with their knees. Hate it. So, I might add, when you're laying down, you never undo the knees. You have to come up to undo the knees slowly. You can just cut your knee from unravelling when you're laying down. I learned that from drag queens. Because they go into death drops all the time. Do you know what death drop is?
No.
Oh my God, we have to watch. We have to have drag race parties. We have to. A death drop is when a drag queen's standing, and in 1 second they land in this posture.
Yeah. It's also a stripper thing.
Oh.
It's a stripper thing.
1 second.
Bang.
And the performance. These are I'm talking about dancers, comedians, classical ballet dancers, thespians, Broadway actors. These drag queens are fucking fabulous. Very, very Jesus-esque. It's just beautiful. I love the
It's so
program.
funny you say that.
I love the program.
When I
It
was
should
a
be called-
dancer, I did that.
Yeah, did you? Yeah. It's RuPaul's therapy. It's not drag race, it's therapy. It's amazing. Getting all these broken men together, talking about their problems in the makeup room. You learn about what the underbelly of the culture looks like, and it's beautiful and heartbreaking equally. So, knees must be not straightened when they're here. Knees must be straightened up there. So variation, easy version or easy version. Yeah? Very simple. Do what you like with your legs. We're interested in tilting the pelvis, opening in the shoulder girdle. Let's all do this together now. We don't have to do the full version, although Simone, if you feel like doing the stretch, do you feel like doing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's not many people that can do
Go all the way back.
full.
No, very
No.
rarely.
Very
And
rarely.
in the Iyengar world, there was so few. People were binding their knees to keep them close.
no.
Like
So
the
you
tie-
so bad.
I used to use a bolster, but we used to get a belt and tie our knees together.
Yeah, I remember that. And then on a bolster though. I didn't do it straight.
Bolster was nice, or a bench, but still, there's no need. We've got elbows, or
Right.
we just let our legs go. So that's the variation. Benefits. Alleviates digestive disorders, partly because there's a lot of digestive meridians in the legs, but also too, it's a lovely arch. Whenever you arch your back, you change your gut scenario. Most of us spend our day all hunched. So as soon as you go into any back arch, in fact, if I've got a sore tummy, I'll take a what is it? Pre-probiotic chew, and then I'll watch TV like this. And within a minute, I've farted, and the pain is there. Literally.
Oh, lips are so refreshing.
Well, you know, you've got to let that shit out. Okay, benefits. So that's just digestive disorders. Tone spine and spinal cord, obviously.
Do we lay down like this to do it? Or?
We're going to do it, but how are we going
To do it properly?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So right. So I want you to choose.
Okay.
Are you going to do what
I would say
Simone's
if I could
doing?
do it. I
Which
used
is,
to do
how do you get there? You go down like
okay,
this, okay?
right.
Elbows.
And you have your feet
not
to the
within it.
side.
Yes, feet are outside. My heels are pushing against my hips.
Do you have your feet like that?
Careful.
Yeah.
Bring
And
your
I'm
knees
very
closer.
short here as well.
Yeah, so for you the work would still be, let's do this. I don't do this
No.
in my general
Look at
yoga
this.
ever.
Can I do this?
Yes,
Can I
darling.
teach them this? Because that opens. and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's a lovely
I have to go
variation.
that way.
That's a very therapeutic like
Oh, it's beautiful butterfly.
That just brought me back. That I used to do that all the time when I was a stripper.
So because you're now
When
working
you were
and
what?
you've had a
Stripper.
tough
I was a pole
pregnancy.
dancer.
Wow.
I was a
I
pole
love
dancing
it.
queen.
Well, when you,
It
I
was
didn't
so
know
good.
you then.
Ah.
When you have your body back, you'll be able to do it.
Yeah, I know.
Like
When it
benefits,
comes
beneficial for asthma. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It really does open up the airways.
so even like this.
Yeah, well,
or you
that's
want
not the same posture.
shoulders and-
No, that's Supta Baddha Konasana. That's supine butterfly, which is a meditation posture, and you're doing that too, Jim. If you want to do the actual posture, come onto your elbows. So there's variations.
Oh, okay. So you're saying do that.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
good. That's easy.
Yes,
And then lean
and then
back.
push your boobs up, and don't throw your head back.
Oh.
Look forward, tuck your chin under, because we're saving our thyroid. If you want to throw your head back, Jen, do. But don't let your shoulder girdle drop closer to the ground. The reason Simone's doing the laying down version is that's the advanced version.
Yeah.
So you're doing the intermediate.
God, I could do that before I was pregnant. How
Well,
funny.
That's okay.
I'm just laughing at how, like,
Yeah, you will
the
get.
things that you just
And then
can't
swap
do all of a
sides, you
sudden.
tell them while they're
Yeah.
still.
And you don't
Or straight
realise.
legs. Yes, absolutely. If they're going to swap sides, come up and change.
Right. Thanks.
Always.
Not just sit
So-
here and swap.
No, it's not really
Right.
useful. Lifting the ribs up, lift up, lift up, lift up. That's good. That's better. So we want to stretch the skin here. The idea of stretching the skin is an easier, like if you look at a crumpled t-shirt, we'll know that we're not in the wrong position. We're in the wrong position. If we stretch the t-shirt out, I've
Trying to
opened up my
spinal cord.
boobs. That's the correct position.
Yeah.
So I can tell by someone's clothes if they're
Yeah.
not working the right way. So Jem, lift up. So we want to get rid of Jem's crinkles in her clothes. Lift your boobs up. Lift your boobs up. Further, further, further. Hold your tummy in.
I'm slipping.
Hold your tummy in. That's as far as. That's good. That's good. I want to
And
see that
breathe.
torso working and breathe.
And breathe.
You can look straight ahead. Is it easier? Push those forearms down. Yeah, push the forearms down. It's very strong, isn't it?
Mm.
And breathe.
Looks great. And breathe. All right, next.
Slipping off the.
Contraindication, people with inflamed knees, hips or lower back might not benefit. Okay, Ustrasana, which we did earlier, more or less, didn't we? So we did this, Ardha Ustrasana.
Mm.
Now I won't go into this posture too much because we did that one, but I will remind you that tippy toes is the beginners, okay? And very rarely are they even going to get their hands on their heels.
Mm.
So we get them to lean on the hip. Let's say the hip bone. Get the heel of the hand into the hip and lean and push the pelvis forward, because for beginners, this stretch is more important than this stretch.
Mm.
Yeah.
When this stretch is good
That's where I
enough,
feel it.
that stretch will come.
Okay.
But if we try and arch the back first, we'll get injured, because in actual fact, this will prevent the stretch from occurring safely.
Yeah.
So when in doubt, just push the pelvis forward. In fact, this is one of my favourite, lifting up always so we
Yeah.
don't crunch. This is one of my favourite TV poses. I'll squeeze the butt, like literally watching TV. If I don't feel like bending forward or back or doing any work, this is a beautiful posture. It's not in any of the books. Just drawing up and gripping, 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 squeezing the bones. It's beautiful.
And a little bit back. I like this quad lengthening because I'm tight
Yes,
here.
yeah, it's
It's
a very big problem in our culture. You'll come across it over and over again where people can't get into their stretches, can they? Because they've got short quads.
Yeah.
People who ride horses, people that go to the gym, people that sit down all day.
Yep.
My brother who surfs and does all kinds of things, doesn't stretch, he's very fit.
Yep.
Short quads.
So that's what I'm always
Short
looking
quads, and a lot of men, no calf muscles.
Ah!
Their calf muscles
You can't have a man without
are, well, I see a lot of tradies with calf muscles, but if you get a dude who's sitting at a desk all day for 40 years, are his legs going to atrophy? Yes.
Oh, God.
It's really horrible to see a man that can't flex his foot properly
I can't do
because
that.
this has atrophied.
Oh my
So don't try
gosh.
it, Jem, you're not ready. This muscle needs to be cut. And that's why in the gym they put weights
Well, I
on
can.
this
I just
body
can't
part.
touch my feet.
No, you're not supposed to yet.
Almost.
You're
I
not
can on
supposed
one
to.
side, but
You're not supposed to. Careful of your back, darling.
no, it's not the back. It's the quads.
Yeah, so as I said, the quads will stop it from happening.
Yeah.
Short
okay.
quads will stop it from happening. So your first cab off the rank
It's the quads.
is the quads.
I know. Yeah.
If we go
That's
past
why I do a
the
lot of quad
quads,
stretches.
yeah,
Yeah, and like I really notice like the quad stretches really help the whole lower
Yeah,
back thing
yeah.
for me. Yeah.
it's and because you're bending over forward for Melanda all the time, it's going to be an ongoing issue.
Yeah.
Don't do what
But I
did.
try not to bend over. I try to crouch.
Yeah.
Like a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Like her when she picks
Yeah.
up toys. I
Yeah,
try to
good
do
idea.
that.
Good idea.
Always.
That's
At the
lucky
moment,
you've
if I
got
keep
that
doing
good
that all the
squat.
time,
Yeah.
I'll wreck my back.
Absolutely. All right, moving on. Contraindications again, knees, back issues, large thyroid must take care. In relation to the large thyroid, it's never an issue if you get people to just look ahead.
Yeah.
Don't open your head, look
Yeah.
ahead. And that way, tick, their thyroid is safe,
Okay.
just in case.
That's
and that
really
applies
good
to
to
you.
know. Yeah, yeah.
And
Because
especially,
I like lengthening it.
yes, it's nice to lengthen a little bit, but never
Over.
when it feels weird.
And if you see that they've got a little bit of
Of any goiter,
roundness.
absolutely don't get near it.
Yeah.
Because if they've got goiter, a doctor's onto it and they're already on thyroxine. You can't do anything. Once they're on thyroxine.
So even when they're
you
doing
can't do
the
it.
cat, don't get them to
Just
fully
as generally,
feel that.
yeah.
Just because
Yeah.
sometimes when I do cat, I can feel it all the way down to my
Yeah, we should.
gut, which is fantastic.
That's what I want to feel.
Yeah.
But does it aggravate your thyroid? I wonder. So
I
that's
don't
So we
I'll
really want
kindle it.
people to be in
See if
in
it's
our
okay.
in their own consciousness. How does that feel?
It feels good.
Yeah. And oftentimes in yoga, you don't know what's wrong with people.
Yeah.
But we do need information, don't we? I used to have a printout for every student, 2 printouts. Ailments, anonymous, and a waiver. But I threw the waiver out the door because that's manifesting rubbish, isn't it?
Yes.
Legal waiver. No one can sue me. Typical of my beautiful family trying to save me. So this list of ailments gave me a clue, and I'd have them all beside me, and I'd know who had the thyroid, who had the recent back surgery. I'd look for the big problems. But you know, I'd say 30% of the time people said, "Oh, I'm fine," when they just had open heart surgery. So it wasn't foolproof, and I let it all go. And I used to have to. I just looked at people. Are they okay?
Yeah.
Look
I like
at
it
them.
how you break it down so you can actually pronounce
Bekasana.
it.
Yeah,
Excellent.
Bekasana. Well, that's how I learned all my prayers.
Oh, frog pose variation. So that's the variation
Yeah,
to the.
yeah. So the frog pose
That
is an actual. If you Google Bekasana, Bekasana, it doesn't look anything like that. I wonder if I'll show
I
you.
find this one of the best things
Yeah.
for necks.
I'll show you what it looks like if I can, and then you can demonstrate because it's the real frog. But no one should ever do it. I was googling all the images, going, "What? I've never seen anything like it. Oh my god, this modern yoga is fucked."
A frog. I don't even think I know what.
We've never seen it because it never existed. It's not real yoga. This is the variation. However, where are we? Where's Bekasana in this book? It's not even in the book. What's it Beck?
In our book,
In our blue book, in the
where are
blue
we?
bits? Blue bits. Is it even in there? Supta Vajrasana, Ustrasana. No, it's not there. It's not there. Because it's not a real posture. Okay, so imagine, so this is the comfortable version, this is the one I'm happy to do. But, okay, imagine if you will, it's like Twilight Zone. Your knees and feet are out, boob on the ground, and feet raised.
Oh, what the hell?
Frog.
That is not a. That's not one of the 72 traditional yoga postures.
It's like a sex pose.
It does. I think that's
So
all down
sounds
to
divine.
I
pictures.
think she's been reading the Kama
Ass
Sutra,
up,
not in a yoga book.
Ass up, boobs down, which is traditional, but then the knees and the feet off the ground. I mean,
I've never
I
seen
s-
that.
I saw people doing the weirdest fucking acrobatic stuff, and the rotation in the knee I thought was particularly stupid.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we don't. So that would be the traditional, the true Bekasana. According to Google, Oh,
Yeah, they just
Google's
keep
promoting
changing
sex,
things
by the
and
way.
making it more
Shut
weird.
up.
everyone is.
Can you help me
Yes.
with the naming and
Okay, so let's-
Are we going to do
So,
this post?
Well, this particular, we will, right now.
Oh,
Okay.
Because it's similar to the one before. I just
Yes.
want to know what the difference.
So the difference is now, we're going to sit with the knees together and then open the knees as wide as the mat, or as wide as you can, and then elbows. And this is the easy version that we teach to our beginner ladies. And if they can, we want to get the boobs on the ground.
Oh.
And that might mean
Wow.
slide your knees apart. Boobs on ground. Can you feel that in the inner groin?
Mm.
Boobs on ground. Chin on hands. Now that will mean that when your knees go further apart, your bum is lower. Does that feel different, Jem?
Mm.
So I was thinking about the other day, because 3 or 4 people tried to do this in class and they all got it wrong, even though we've been doing it for 20 years.
It's funny, isn't it? Those simplest things.
Well,
Can all do
I'll
wrong.
tell you what the mistake people make is this. They put their head on the ground
Yeah, that's what I
and
did.
their boobs
naturally.
and a bum up, and then they try and do the neck rotations. And I'm like, no, you're not ready, you're not ready. You're not ready. When the boobs are on the ground, and that means the shoulder girdle's on the ground, then you rotate. So is your chin on the ground yet? Yep. Good. Then you have rotation in your neck. So boobs and chin on the ground, then you can rotate. Now, for people who are super tight in the groin, this is our cheek block generally. We'll do this instead. They might never get their boobs on the ground because they're too tight in the hips, but we do want to give them the experience of rotating the neck because it's super healthy. Do you want to try that, sweetie?
Yeah.
Is that better for you?
Yeah, it's more my.
Much better.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to put our soup on while you girls play with that. I'll ask you some questions first, generally.
And then
rather
from
answer
here you do
questions.
frog.
From here, if your shoulders are comfortable,
And then
you'll do frog. But because your head is raised, generally, you don't need to put your hands through your legs.
Yeah.
So, Jem, for you, the trick is knees further apart.
Yeah.
Not today,
okay,
but the lower your bum is,
the better.
the better. When you get up, I want you to take a look at how low Simone's bum is. And that's because her legs have folded differently.
Yeah.
When we have different body bulk, which is what the terminology is
I
in
am
class.
fine. I was just going to
Junk
say.
in the front trunk.
Yeah, when we've got different body bulk,
I
we
can
never
feel
talk.
the bulk
Yes.
that I have recently put on. The limitations.
Yeah,
you
so-
are exactly right.
That's okay.
Yes.
So the body doesn't fold. Imagine if
Yes.
I did 1,000 push-ups every day and I was cut.
Yeah.
And I'm huge. My arms wouldn't bend.
Yeah, yeah.
That's all that
I
is.
can really
And
feel it.
muscle, cut, muscle, bone, everything is body bulk. Like we can't say the word fat because it's not often fat. Often it's big
Fluid.
bones,
It's mostly fluid.
fluid,
Yeah. Just different
inflammation,
shapes of people.
different build.
Long people bend more
Yes, and
easily
there's
than
the-
Pen?
No,
No.
there's a meso. There's a type of body that is very short. The stronger they get, the shorter the muscles get. It's very interesting. So yes, take a pen. You can borrow that pen, darling. I have more of those. I'm going to put the food on while you girls relax for a minute and have a look at your chakras just quickly. There's not much there. I didn't even print out the nadis. In fact, there's nothing there. We're going to talk about something interesting in relation to chakras in a minute.
Excellent.
But I haven't actually started the printing out of
So
them.
these are the Sanskrit names.
Yes, yes.
Isn't that pretty?
And you don't need to memorise them. They will come in time. You'll remember them in time. Okay? In relation to the throat chakra, this should be a darker blue, like the colour blue of the ocean. An indigo blue. The perfect midnight ocean. Yeah.
So that's the Om symbol.
The Om symbol is the purple one, the throat,
Yep.
the ajna.
Ajna. Okay.
So Om applies to Hiyada. This is the actual symbol is in there. It's not all that definable. Each one of these chakras has a beej mantra, like Om for here, but they've all got one. hum,
Really?
lum, vum, yum, hum,
That's right.
vum, lum. So there's a chakra CD that I will send to you, so you can listen to it. And interestingly, every time, so they get to the first chakra and they repeat vum 25 times, then lum
Yeah.
25 times, 25, 25. Why 27? So and I go back to my God code book. It's the Jesus number. I'm sorry.
That's the second time I've heard
25.
that. In the Bible,
Jesus number.
they're saying
5, 6, 7.
Okay.
Jesus.
7.
Jesus is Krishna. Jesus is Krishna, Shiva, Shakti, Buddha, and Ali, and Allah, if you like. To a devout Christian, that won't work. One of my men, and again another man, is a devout Christian. He hates that shit. He hates yoga woo woo. So I give it all Christ. Cry, even wear a cross. And he's like 6'6". Hallelujah. People are funny. All right, so I'm putting feet on, and you're going to do nothing
Okay.
for a minute, and you're going to trust that.
I love your artwork. I just
Oh,
love
I'm
it.
addicted.
Yeah, it's
I'm
great.
addicted. When I was coming off that anaesthetic, I couldn't write. I could write. I could study. I've studied so much, and I've written down 4 pages on just this, on the electric body. I've written down 4 pages of the nadis, and I thought, oh my God, there's another 100 pages I need to edit, and then I need to do another 150 pages on the chakras. It's too much. So you know what I did? Just the artwork.
Hang on. So what's the nadis?
Ah,
Sorry, this
So-
is where I'm
no.
all confused.
well, but you should be confused because
Okay.
you've never been taught it.
no.
So remember the other day in class I talked about 7